All right. Let's do this. Okay. Yes, one more time. Let's try this again, y'all. All right, everybody. Yes, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for the Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, and Facebook at Michelle Dickey, and at Consulting for Heightened Awareness. So let's see if we can go ahead and dive right back into this while those notifications go out and we are watching all of the tech stuff go a bit wonky here. Anyhow, inside the mind of a narcissistic abusers, okay, or narcissistic abusers, all right, like we started off in the first attempt there with the ism mindset developing, okay, how that happens, right? How the development of the ism mindset, how it is they get that entitlement mindset, how it is that they get that thinking the world revolves around them mindset, how they think that they get that well, we know they have a toddler mindset. That's not what we're not referring to that at all. And so what we want to remember is that the development of that ism mindset stems from a lot of things. Society coddles them, gives them special treatment because of a title or a status or a position. So that's part of how they end up letting that title, status, or position go to their head, because that's what they do. Okay, they are always going to let things go to their head. Remember, I don't know if y'all have heard, but many of us come to realize that the narcissistic abusers, they have the development of a big head, right? Well, that's what we're talking about right there. If that is a mindset, is them developing that is a mindset, so that they can continue to go around thinking they deserve, okay, special treatment. That they deserve special treatment because of a particular status or title. And so we never want to forget that it shows in their actions too. Oh gosh, yes, big time. It shows in their action in many ways. And I want to go ahead and see if we can get something going here. I appreciate y'all's patience as we work through this stuff. All right, yay. Get something going here. Okay. All right. Thank you all for your patience as we are getting things underway. All right, but that is how that happens. The leading into the development of the ism mindset, where they will always, think that because of a big one right here. Oh yes. Okay, how society does it is that if you have a particular status, position, or title, you are entitled to. See, that's a subliminal message, you all. Seriously, that is a subliminal message from the enemy to get people to accept the ism mindset. We have got to be sober and vigilant, for the enemy is always roaming about, seeking whom he can devour. And so we want to remember that, okay, we're not to let that go to our head, because that's how the Jezebel gets them, okay, in a big way. I've said that before on, in several YouTube videos, okay, so I wanted to bring it here because it fits inside the mind of a narcissistic abuser, because they really truly do. They walk and roam about believing that everything is all about them. Remember, they take things personally because they think everything is about them. And if it's not, like we talked about before, there's some crazy making ways as to how they somehow find a way to make it about them when it's not about them. It comes from that ism mindset that's inside their mind. And they have put themselves up on what I coined the imaginary pedestal. Okay. Yes, they have put themselves up on an imaginary pedestal because we're dealing with narcissistic abuse on the societal level, right? That narcissistic abuse matrix on this world stage. We're dealing with it, seeing it play out, every day. And so we have to be mindful not to let those subliminal messages get into that subconscious, because that's how this happens to them over time. Just like the narcissistic abuse, over time. Okay, it's slow and subtle. And so that's how, yeah, through the trauma bonding and everything, right? It's slow and subtle. Same thing, okay, with these, yep, subliminal messages that continue to circulate, okay, to get people to try to get people to accept that is a mindset in many ways. And that's how it occurs out there in society big time, is by saying, okay, because let's say you hold that particular title. So now you have a particular title, right? And so now that gives you special privileges. Really, that's narcissism in action right there, you all. Seriously. And so, very common one, because many of us have seen this with the aging narcs. Oh my goodness. Yes, with the aging narcissistic abusers. Oh, yeah, they use their age. Yep, as a status, thinking that because they are, you know what, okay, that they are older, that they know more, when in fact they know nothing. Remember that, you all. We don't, yeah, we have to admit to ourselves that, yeah, I mean, we listen now. Yeah, in reality, we do know what we know, but we certainly don't know everything as we continue to get more of God's wisdom, right? Okay, we don't know everything. There's no way we can do that. But the narcissistic abuser, inside their mind, because of that is a mindset, they hold a particular status or title. And that also refers to parental status, you all. That's the thing right there. Trick of the enemy, right? To get people to put themselves up on an imaginary pedestal because they're a parent, or, yeah, okay, or whatever. Insert your title there. Okay, like whatever. Okay, yeah, it's pretty humongous out there. Okay, but let's cover that verse one more time, where God tells us not to be thinking more highly of ourselves than we ought to. Okay, and for the record, the earlier attempt at this episode, okay, of the show for today, the earlier attempt, just whatever tech quirks that were going on, I'll be taking that one down, okay, you all, for obvious reasons. But Romans 12:3, all right, where God, and clearly we can see this is how the narcissistic abusers are disobeying God. Okay, for I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. Let that sink in, all right? And what he's talking about there, to think soberly, meaning aware, to be aware of these things, that heightened awareness that the enemy does not like people to have. Okay, you all see that heightened awareness has nothing to do with an ism mindset. That heightened awareness is all about getting God's wisdom, getting educated, not ignoring these red flags anymore, as we continue to see them out here roaming about, with that puffed up pride. They puff out their chest because of certain status. Hey, Shay, welcome. All right, yes. How is everybody doing today? Let's drop some of that in the chat, and then on the replay, let's drop it in the comments. All right, let's do a quick mental health check-in for you all, okay, and spiritual health, because after all, that's another part of that's right, getting that heightened awareness and learning about ourselves, things like that, as we continue to witness how the ism mindset plays out here, because they hold a position, status, or title, and so they think that, yeah, yes, we can't ignore these red flags, but observing more and speaking less. All right, that's right, fellow warrior. Yep, cannot ignore those anymore. Yeah, we're not under that cloud of cognitive dissonance. God's given us that clarity that we need going forward, so we can catch this stuff. And a common example I have for you all, because we've watched this play out in toxic workplaces quite a bit. All right, this is real common with narcissistic abusers in a toxic workplace. They get promoted to management, and boop, it automatically goes to their head. But before that happened, they were, I'm not going to say manageable, because they're not, but before they got promoted, they were not quite as bad. You know what I'm saying? They were tough, you could deal with it easier. But once that narcissistic abuser got promoted to management and it goes to their head, boy, their whole demeanor changes. And they get extremely, that yes, their true colors come out. That's exactly what happened, because Jezebel gets them right there when they let it go to their head, because they're a manager now. And that's why a lot of narcissistic abusers seek out those types of positions deliberately, because that's what they're looking for. They want that illusion of power and control because of their status, position, or title. I should come to realize that, and we witnessed it play out. And yes, all right, glory be to God, say, y'all, let's round of applause. All right, yep, the spirit, yep, God and the spirit, you're feeling good. All right, yay, glory be to God. That's awesome, 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 you all. That's how you're supposed to be feeling. All right, you're supposed to be feeling high vibing and happy and not negative and low. That's not, God doesn't want you feeling that way. Okay, God, no, the enemy likes to keep people feeling that way. That's another part of inside the mind of narcissistic abusers. They got all that doom and gloom. Yeah, they don't realize that when they let their position, titles, and status go to their heads like that, that it actually makes them look like the fools that they really are. Think about that for a second. Okay, it really does, because it shows in their action. And so they, yeah, and I have yet to discover whether they're even aware they look like the fool they truly are. I don't even know that yet. So we'll get back to y'all on that. Now, if y'all know the answer to that, let's drop that in the chat. And then if you catch it on the replay, let's drop that in the comments below as well. Because we're still sort of, listen, we're on this journey together, y'all. It's a learning journey in the spiritual awakening and God's reality, right? As we learn more about how, and what the ism mindset really is in the spiritual. Okay. So, oh, yes, that's right. Yep. That's the trick of the enemy. Yep. Our fellow warrior Shay just hit the nail on the head with that one. Yep. The narcissistic abusers, they hate to see others that have that kind of joy. Seriously, that's why they want to steal, kill, and destroy it, right? After all, they're on assignment from the devil to try and steal, kill, and destroy. They can't stand to see other people happy. They can't stand to see other people succeeding. They can't, that's also inside the minds of the narcs. They cannot stand to see other people doing what they perceive as better than them. Okay, remember, they have to feed that superiority complex that they have as part of that is a mindset. And it's stemming from that, letting their status, position, or title go to their head. And, society plays a huge role in, yes, enabling that on many levels. Okay, so we all have to pay attention, not walking on eggshells. That's right, not walking on eggshells, but we stay aware and vigilant out here, and you'll catch these little things that we missed before God awakened us, right, to and from all of this stuff, and got us into his reality where chosen ones belong in God's reality. That's why he chose us out of the narcissistic abuse matrix. Okay, get us in his reality so we can see what's really going on, especially in the spiritual, so that we don't keep turning a blind eye and things like that. And now we're able to make better sense of what's going on inside their mind. This is for those to get a better understanding of the mechanics inside their head. So, and not only that, it's very cluttered up there. Okay, that's the other thing. Very disorganized and very cluttered. But we'll get into that in more detail in another part to this series. That is a mindset that develops from society saying, oh, okay, because you hold this title, so now you are entitled to, remember, that's that subliminal message. Watch out for that one. Okay. Yes, entitled to. Right. Yeah. And that reminds me. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I loved it when I saw one of the local churches put it on the marquee, and I was like, that's it right there, because they put a saying out. It says entitled to ? And I was like, there you go. That's right. Okay. Because it's like, what? No. Just because. Okay. For example, to help y'all put it in perspective, just because. Okay. Chosen ones, we wear many hats, right? Okay. Well, just because I am a consultant, right? A coach, trauma specialist, author, spiritual chef, minister, okay? Just because I wear those hats, right, does not put me on a pedestal. It does not make me better than anybody else. We know that, right? Chosen ones, we know we're not better humans, okay? We're not better than anyone else. We all have different skill sets. Some of us have similar skill sets, yes, and that's fine. It's to complement each other and not in a love bombing way, all right? It's iron sharpening iron kind of way, That's what we mean by how chosen one with our different skills and talent and things like that, how we will complement one another, right? By iron sharpening iron. Narcissistic abusers, because of their ism mindset, that's not going to happen. Okay, they're hindrances, right? Inside their mind, they think that yes, what theirs is theirs and what's yours is theirs. I know a lot of y'all have heard that before, but that's exactly how they think. They truly think that they are entitled to. So, for example, another one I have for you all in toxic workplace. I remember taking my lunchbox inside. I stopped doing it. I started leaving it in the car once I spotted that one of the narcissistic abuser managers there was helping himself to the contents inside my lunchbox without asking. And I was like, that's very rude. I mean, not that I don't mind sharing, but how about a little common courtesy? You don't just, but that's how they think. That's inside the mind of narcissistic abuse, because there is a mindset. They think that just because it's there, even though it belongs to someone else, they're just going to help themselves to it without asking. That's not normal behavior. That is spoiled brat syndrome right there. And so that's what they do. They'll help themselves to it, right? Thinking that they're entitled to it because it's there, right? And because of their management title. There you go. There's the dot. Because it took me a while to figure out. I was like, okay, I get how they think that they're entitled to other people's things. You know what I'm saying? I get that part, but I was like, what was the other part that made him think he could just do that and not ask permission? Oh, that's right, because of his title of being a manager. So he thought my lunchbox was all access for him because of that. That is a mindset at work. So basically what we do, we don't have to confront them. We just started leaving it in the car until we were ready to eat. That's the bottom line. So we do get around that resistance because we take that access away from them. Because that we're not turning holy things over to dogs, casting pearls before swine like that. Once we catch on to what they're doing, if they're doing that, and they're not operating under common courtesy, and stuff like that, then we stop taking our lunchbox in that toxic workplace, for example. Okay, same concept applies when inside the minds of the narcissistic abusers with that is a mindset. Same concept applies to whenever you do something nice for them, right? You put your heart into it. You cook them a meal, or you make them a piece, an art piece, if you will, or maybe a painting, or you make them a card, out of your own creativity, and you give it to them, and they start finding something to complain about, nitpicking, and they're not grateful. We don't ever do it again for them. That's how we learn our lesson. And that's a good way to test the spirit by the spirit as well. So, that's just, it's a really good way, actually. And then pay attention when you give it to them to what they say about it. And you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, though, if they say thank you, give it about 5-10 minutes or so. And then, okay, because they may not complain or nitpick right away. All right, that's very classic of them. So you want to be, yes, right, sober and vigilant, meaning aware and vigilant. Okay, and just be on the lookout for it. We're not expecting the worst, but because they're a narcissistic, they're a narcissistic abuser, they're predictable. So that they're going to eventually come around to finding something to nitpick, nag at, complain about. Right? That's part of inside their mind, because nothing is ever good enough. Okay, they're always going to try to find a flaw. Why? Because they like to use these flaws as ammunition to dish out the abuse. Okay, never forget the importance behind that, because it's so subtle sometimes too. Yeah, but now we're catching this in the spiritual awakening. Catch these things. So if you come across somebody that has a particular position, status, or title in society, and you will see their nose in the air about it, and that can be for anything. Okay, you all, that can even be for the position of a cashier. Some people will let that go to their narcs will let that go to their head. Absolutely. Yeah, I know. It's like, really? Oh yeah, we've seen it. Okay, a lot of us have seen that. They will let their work position go to their head. And then not only that, because society continues to coddle them with special treatments because of that position, status, or title. And so, what does that do? Oh, yeah, that's narcissistic abuse on the societal level, because what does that do to all those who don't hold that position, status, and title? There you go, right? Trying to make them feel left out because they don't have that particular title or they don't have that particular position. See, that's classic of the enemy to keep people divided, right? There you go, all part of that divide and conquer agenda, right? Only people with this title get this special treatment. Only people with this position get this special treatment. Only people. See how society enables the development of the ism mindset right there. Okay. And the list is long on that one. So we always want to remember that when we see that, then we know what we're dealing with. And I will share with you all, there's a particular event, you know what I'm talking about, that goes down every now and again, right? And for those of us who have walked away from that we no longer, we have unregistered and we do not play that game anymore, just so you know. And we have nothing to do with that narcissistic abuse on the societal level at all. No, well, not any of it. We see it, we spot it, we're not tolerating it by not internalizing the negative emotion, the spiritual energy emotion. Okay, we're not internalizing it anymore. All right, for those who are still working on that, keep going. All right, keep going. It does take practice as well, as God is taking you across that rainbow to get to the other side. I should never forget that. But anytime that comes around, I witnessed this in another toxic workplace, and it was just like so obvious, right? Okay, they went in to go and cast their you know what, and they had that puffed out chest. Their nose was in the air, and I was like, oh man, wow. Because now they feel special because they are doing what they've been told, and there you go. Playing the game of narcissism. Yep. And it was like, oh my goodness. But they literally did. They had their, yes, that form of godliness that God tells us about. Okay, that's that form of godliness, but denying the power therein. Okay, never forget it. That's what they do. And so whenever they puff out their chest like that, that is the result of their ism mindset, because of their high pride over themselves. Oh my goodness. The countless times that we have observed this with narcissistic abusers is wow. Yeah. And we continue to see it too. They will puff out that chest, put their nose in the air, and they will be looking down on anybody else who's not following their quote unquote what they think is a lead. I'm gonna tell y'all something. This okay, everybody's talking about, oh, the world needs this kind of leader. I'm like, yeah, no, you got narcissistic abusers up there playing games. Okay, you all, the world is the devil's playground, right? So you got them up there playing games. You got actors wearing silicone masks and stuff like that, and they're just playing with everybody, and I don't even know, like sleepers don't even know that they're being played. And so, yeah, anybody who's gone down the rabbit hole, you know what I'm talking about. And those who did not have to go down the rabbit hole, and you know what I'm talking about, kudos. Because I'm going to tell you, boy, that thing goes deep. Oh, like I've said before, that thing does go deep. So as God is revealing all truths and things like that to us, so that we don't keep being deceived over and over and over again. You'd be surprised, though, how many people are still sleeping. Now, keep in mind, you all, that there are still some chosen ones, just like we were inside that narcissistic abuse matrix, that don't know yet. Okay, God will awaken them just like he did us on his time. Okay, see, God has everything all planned out. You know, it's like he knew exactly when he was going to awaken each one of us. He already knew the exact moment, the exact day, the exact hour, because God knows what he's doing. So he knew ahead. I mean, he's the Alpha and the Omega. And so God knew exactly, down to the very second, that he was going to awaken us, and we were going to get that final trumpet call. So we make that choice. Yes, and choose ye this day whom you will serve. Because as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Hey, you all, that's so important. And so when he awakens us to and from all of that, we have a choice, either to choose narcissism or choose to pick up our cross and follow Jesus. That's it. That's our day. That's our day to make that choice. Even though, yes, we didn't choose to be a chosen one. God already did that. Right? But we still have a choice to make ourselves as humans. That's what God gives us, that free will. Because we could give up and give in as well. And there have been some, I'm sure there have been some chosen ones who did, unfortunately. Okay, because I've said this before, the spiritual awakening is not for the faint at heart. Okay, as we continue to unravel what's going on, inside the minds of the narcs, because it's that spiritual wickedness in high places. It stems from, yes, okay, a lot of the negativity for one thing, and it stems from that ism mindset, big time. Okay, that spiritual wickedness in high places, where they're always roaming about, seeking whom they can devour, just like their master, the devil. And they don't retain God in their knowledge. And so by not retaining God in their knowledge, they put themselves up on that imaginary pedestal and think that they deserve, there's another subliminal message, think that they deserve special treatment based on a particular title, status, or position. And I'm going to go ahead and share with y'all too. Many of us have witnessed this. Like, we'll be out at the store and we've witnessed that haughtiness. Oh, that is from it is a mindset as well. That haughtiness that they have. And so they'll be, let's say they go and you're standing in line, let's say to pick up an order. Let's use a restaurant, for example. You're standing in line, right? You called in an order, to go order, and you're standing in line to pick up your order, and you're waiting on, you're waiting your turn, because that's the polite, honest thing to do, right? Okay. Unlike a narcissistic abuser who would love to, that's right, try to cut in line and get ahead of everybody. A narcissistic abuser would definitely do that. So if you see somebody doing that, they're trying to get ahead and cut in line like that, see, then you know what you're dealing with. You just spotted a narc. Okay, so I mean, as an adult, you all, okay, we got to really remember something, that we all have to grow and develop, right? We all have to put away childish things. Narcissistic abusers, as adults, they don't do that. That's what we're referring to. Okay, when we talk about these narcissistic abusers that are grown adults who should know better. And they do know better, but they continue to choose to do the wrong thing because of their ism mindset. Because inside their mind, they truly believe that because they're a grandparent, they're a parent, that status, okay, because they hold those types of statuses, that they are entitled to, or that they deserve this or that, because the world continues to tell them that they do. You see, that's how society plays a big role in enabling narcissistic abuse and narcissism, and to try and keep it normalized. That's it. That's all the enemy wants to do, is play those head games and try to keep that narcissism normalized, so that he can hide in plain sight in front of the narcissistic abuser. The chosen one, he's not hiding in plain sight in front of us anymore. Absolutely not. Because we can pick up on his tactics a lot quicker. And we see these things unfolding out here as the toddlers in adult bodies continue to throw temper tantrums in many ways. Okay, and you see them. And because they hold a particular status, position, or title, right, that they get some kind of discount, right, because the restaurant is promoting that and offering that type of discount. That's fine and nice, whatever, but let's say this restaurant is not offering a particular status, title, or position discount, right? Let's say this hypothetically, that this one is not, that we're at to pick up our order, and this person in front beholds a particular status, title, whatever, that would usually get them some sort of a discount because of it, right? But this place doesn't. And we witnessed that come unglued and unhinged, throwing a mini temper tantrum and starting to yell. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We've seen this kind of behavior before. Well, that's the narcissistic abuser right there. That proof right there in the physical of the ism mindset. Instead of saying, oh, okay, so this restaurant doesn't offer it, no big deal. Instead of being okay with it. Because they, in their minds, because of that position, title, or status, and they get discounts at other places, they with that demon of assumption and that entitlement mindset, believe that they should get that particular treatment everywhere they go. There you go. Yep, that's part of their ism mindset. All right, everybody. As always, if you've got any questions, you catch it on the replay. I will always get to those as soon as possible. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for the Left Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, and Facebook at Michelle Dickey and Consulting for Hate Awareness. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Until next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you in Jesus' name. Amen.